Do your chilies look like this? They had adequate fertilizer. They had adequate water. They had 8 to 9 hours of sunlight. And I actually kept it weeded until early August. But most important to the problem with these plants was the soil. This is a really high quality sandy loam soil that's normally recommended by pretty much everybody for growing all sorts of garden plants, including chilies. But this soil has not been amended in 2 years, and it really needs to be amended regularly. Look at those things. The soil's dead even if you fertilize it heavily. It's amazing how bad it can be. The problems are, number one, various animals ate the growing tips of these plants, and there was always a constant weed battle here too. I'm going to offer later on in this video some possible solutions to some of the problems that were evident here. These chilies over here are obviously much better. The tallest ones are over 2 feet tall. They have loads of flowers on them. They had the same amount of water and fertilizer as the last group I showed you. This group had 8 hours of sun, actually a little bit less than the other ones. And they also had various critters, especially chafer beetles, that ate all the growing tips when they were young. The major difference in this is the soil. This soil was amended, not heavily, but a little bit at least, with composted cow manure and that commercial garden soil that you get in bags at almost every garden center. Now it's September 18th. The normal growing season here is over by the end of August in my area. All other garden plants in my garden are finished. Tomatoes, squash, eggplants, basils, everything but broccoli and my wife's long beans. Now the reason why these are producing so many flowers, look at them all. Loaded with flowers. It's because of the early destruction of the growing tips. The plants got set back for weeks. Similar effects can happen if you pinch off your plants, as some websites recommend. The problem with late blooming here is early morning low temperatures have already reached 48 degrees to 42 degrees Fahrenheit in 1 week. If you get about 4 or 5 morning temperatures below 50 in 1 week in this environment, the plants will drop all their flowers. You will literally get dozens or even hundreds of flowers, and probably in this case, lying on the ground under the plants. They'll never come close to bringing all of these flowers to fruition, and also very few fruits will reach a culinary size. So for a real short season area, which I'll explain later, that I have here, pinching off plants may not be the best option. It does produce plants with a lot of leaves. The leaves are generally smaller in size. I'm surprised that the fruits are not smaller, but the fruits are normal size on these plants. two video clips were of the overflow from more than 30 seedling plants that I selected out to only 4 to actually be featured in this video. There are 3 in-ground plants that I planted next to the south side of my garage, and 1 plant in a 2-gallon pot that spent most of its time in my front yard. I only have photos of these plants in various stages of their development, except for the clip of the pot plant taken in November that will be featured at the very end of this video. All these plants were grown a few years ago during the same growing season in the same year. So that's where we're going to start this, and there will be many future videos, I hope, and I will probably be the narrator in all of them. So I hope you enjoy this. Thank you very much. Bye now. Some photos for you. One taken on May 28th of one of the plants next to the garage. If you look closely, you'll see this has black and brown leaves. All 3 of these plants ended up looking like this because they were burned by composted cow manure that was not fully composted, and it was hot. It was hot in the bag. I didn't realize it at the time I put it in the ground with the plants. Now this stuff was mixed in the soil. It wasn't a large percentage, but it still overheated the roots. There was one on June 19th of the right plant, the center plant, and the left plant, and the center plant was set back because of this for way over a month. The right and left plants were set back for only about 2 weeks. So there's quite a huge difference in the development and growth of these plants. There's another photo of the left and center plant on July 20th. And then the 3 plants next to the garage on August 10th. And then on August 28th, the left plant next to the garage. And September 6th, the photo of the first chili on the left plant. The first chili was the one in the first branch point of the plant, and it was the first red chili on September 6th of all the plants, including the ones you saw earlier in the in-ground plants. All 30 of them, or whatever there were. Now, the photos of the pot plant. July 14th photo shows right after I transplanted it from a seed cell to a 5-inch pot. Very late transplant. The next photo is on July 29th. Shows it in the 5-inch pot. And then I transplanted that from the 5-inch pot to a 2-gallon pot, which is a very small pot, but it was its final destination, on August 3. Then on August 10th, I have a photo, which was taken a few days, obviously, after the transplant. And you can see it sitting there. It's quite a bit larger than it was in the July 29th photo, and it's only a few days older. And then after that is the video of the pot plant in early November. And that plant ultimately had 306 chilies on it. I estimated it at 200, but I'm never right with these estimates. So that's it. Bye now. I haven't taken any videos of this plant yet, or any photos. I hate to get my shadow in the thing. I'll go over this way. It's the middle of November right now. I've been taking it in and out of the house for quite a while. I'm going to try to keep it alive over the winter. I don't know if I can do that. But almost all the chilies are red now on it. I don't know how many are on there. I underestimate these things a great deal. It may be about 200 on there. Anyway, I'm going to take a photo after I turn this off.